Over the last 2 months, I've taken more action on my life and my freelance journey than I have in the previous 5 years combined. I finally committed to starting a YouTube channel, which is something that I wanted to do for 5 years. I debated on how that format would look, what I should focus on. A lot of things went around in my head. I tried several things beforehand. I even opened several Etsy stores over the last 5 years. I've actually had several art businesses before this one, but none of them worked. And what I wanted to talk about today is how in the last 2 months, I started my YouTube channel on June 11th. It is August 6th now, so in about a week, it'll be 2 months since I started this journey, in less than a week. And my plan when I first started this channel was simply consistency. For the first month, no one watched me at all. I had no subscribers. For the first month, I had under 100 subs, but I hit 1K within the next week. So my videos went from like 40 views total to like 1K each, or just under 1K, and I thought that was shocking. I couldn't figure out why the algorithm had picked up my videos. And it's interesting that my first video is still my most viewed video, but I'll talk about that in a second. I was afraid to start for years, and this YouTube channel has been 5 years in the making, and there's a lot more planning that goes into it than you probably realize, a lot more strategy. I'm still learning about content strategy, but I was stuck for years in analysis paralysis. I thought I needed the perfect strategy, the perfect way to do things. I thought I needed to do things after multiple takes, and I just said, I'm going to say fuck it, sit down, and I'm going to just do my best. And that's all I did. I just presented myself exactly as I was. No filter, no makeup, wearing my paint shirt, looking like trash in some videos even. And to be consistent, I have learned that I have to produce a production pipeline schedule, which I am making as I go. And I know that basically means that I can't do much editing because I don't know how to edit. So I'm going to have to schedule in a way to learn how to edit. I haven't really done that because I can't afford editing software besides CapCut. Like I'm not lying about being poor. I mean, I'm not homeless, but in terms of expendable income to buy proper editing software, I can't afford that at this point. But it's in the works, and I'm looking forward to stuff that's like, just besides Clipchamp and CapCut and iMovie, because that's what I have access to at this point. And I'm looking forward to that, but editing is a learning curve. It takes a long time to do, even if you're good at it. And I started researching my niche, believe it or not, after I started posting. I didn't really know what niche I fell into. I didn't really find other influencers that were making similar content until after I posted my first video. And I decided that I was just going to start from where I was. I had been reading about the fundamentals of storytelling and how to be a compelling storyteller. And one of the things that they talked about is use the whole buffalo. Nothing is for nothing, and what's disinteresting to you might actually be very relatable or interesting to someone else. And it's very difficult because a fish doesn't know it's swimming. It's difficult to know how special your story is or how relatable your story is when you take yourself for granted. But there's a lot of you guys that are from different countries and that are in similar situations, yet you have my perspective as an American that lives in the Southeast. And I think that's very interesting to hear a real person who's actually struggling talk about stuff rather than an actual influencer. And I always wanted this to be real. I never really wanted to be like an influencer doing challenges and vlogging my boring life. This has always been just a way to find myself and to grow myself. And I wish I had started sooner, but at the same time, the timing was perfect. And I basically made a weekly and daily schedule that I'm messily and imperfectly trying to stick to. It's not perfect. I've been procrastinating on my schedule, just like I've always done. And I'm learning how to become more efficient because I feel like there's a reward for the effort that I'm putting into YouTube. And when I was just painting in the void and not getting much feedback for it, I didn't really have an external impetus to do it. And as someone with ADHD, that external validation, I hate to say it, like I need it, and it's very addicting to get external validation. One of the reasons YouTube, I think, is so fun is the external validation that you get from doing it. You know if you're doing something that's working based on the metrics. You have an entire freaking YouTube studio where you get to see all the metrics, and I love seeing the bar graph go up and down. It's like, oh shit, what did I say this time that was less interesting? I think it's fun. It's like you gamify stuff. It's very fun. And like I said, I'm learning how to be more efficient, and I'm keeping my I've learned to keep my desk ready to draw, to write, and to record. So I basically go to my desk first thing in the morning. I keep all my devices on my desk. So I have to get up and go to my desk. And I have notes on my desk about what I was planning to do the night before. I say night, but fam, I be staying up all night. I'm basically nocturnal. I mean, I get 8 hours of sleep consistently, sometimes more, but it's never proper. It's like I fall asleep maybe at 10 a.m. and then I'm just nocturnal at this point. So as some of you know, I post a video at 3 a.m. every now and again. It's because I'm doing the night shift. Probably bad for me, right? YouTube has given me a platform I need to become consistent with my art and storytelling because of that immediate feedback, which my ADHD craves. Instagram is such a hard place to grow as an artist. I needed somewhere where I could grow as a storyteller and an artist, and I don't know why I looked over YouTube for so long. I think I finally got on when this type of video style became popular. And I think it's still kind of growing. I don't know what the future is going to hold. But the overly produced content has had its heyday, and it's no longer really in style. But this video type might not be in style for long either, and I'm trying to hone everything down to a science and see where I'm going to go. I've only been at this for less than 60 days, so it's a haphazard effort. And despite my imperfect start, I was monetized, guys, after 40 days. And I attribute this to the consistency I was putting in. I was putting in about 2 to 3 videos a week, long form, and I was doing shorts nearly every day. Engaging with my audience and being genuinely inspired by you guys' stories, as well as engaging with other members of the same community and other small YouTubers. And I was also featured on a React channel, and my videos slowly went viral. That first video that I posted has over 100,000 views in less than 60 days. The first video I ever made. No editing, just said, fuck it, I'm gonna sit down and start. That was the video that went crazy viral. And that's not like crazy viral, but like for me, my entire channel is like monetized off that one video, which is crazy. And it just happened to be my first video, and that video got like no views for the first month, okay? And then overnight, I start quadrupling my subs. Nightly. Like nightly I start quadrupling my subs after a month. I don't know why it popped off so fast. I really don't know why I've been this successful on YouTube. I mean, there's other people in this niche that are doing similar stuff, but I guess I was blessed for now by the algorithm gods, and I saw that virtually the no growth in the first month, and then I met all the monetization requirements off one video, and I've been earning more than I ever thought I would, considering I'm still in my first month. I will be able to cash out this month, which the minimum threshold is $100, and I might make a separate video for my revenue, but if things continue to grow over the next 6 months, the rest of the year, the IRS is going to be entering the chat, we'll put it like that, because I'm going to be making enough income for the Internal Revenue Service to notice, and YouTube makes sure that all that goes and gets reported. So I have to withhold for taxes. I'm just thinking ahead. I don't want to... The numbers that I'm going to show you guys in some new videos are probably it's what I've earned in total. It's not what I get to bring home, kind of. So producing art into a void left me feeling absolutely lost. I felt like no one wanted to see my art, and I just didn't know how to connect with people. And I did some research on telling your story. And at first I thought that meant through my art and let my art speak for myself, but you have to speak for your art. You have to put a person to the painting. because in the world of AI, I could probably get AI to fucking do that flower thing, that shitty flower painting. Maybe you like it, okay? I don't know. I'm not gonna diss it. AI could like churn 4 fucking things of those out in like a split second. So what differentiates me? Why have people bought that print? Then they bought it when they could just generate it. It's because I'm a human being and I'm showing you guys. And I really want to show more of my art process on here, but I feel like it's kind of boring, and as well it's difficult to film it. I have limited space on my iPhone, and I'm using my iPhone to record everything in terms of my art. And my iPhone is like has limited storage because I got God knows what going on in there. I got to figure that out and like clear some stuff out. But it's a lot of family videos, and I don't want to delete my family videos. Okay, but anyway, I want to tell you guys that I've experienced more success with my art sales and my art journey really in the last 60 days than I have in the last 5 years combined. And not necessarily in terms of money, but in terms of the improvement of my work ethic, my willingness to fail, and the eyes and sales on my artwork. And my Instagram art account is still growing really slowly comparatively. IG accounts are really shitty for art. It's hard to grow on IG. It just straight up is. And I'm hoping it'll catch up, because I want somewhere where to like actually post my finished works and stuff like that. But you have to play the influencer game and post reels these days. I've also started a TikTok. I know. I'm trying to like make funny shit on TikTok about art, and not necessarily about the same stuff that I do here, although I might do that. So check out my TikTok for art memes, and hopefully some more interesting stuff. I'm gonna like try to make sure it's not the exact same as my Instagram. There are some overlaps at this point, but I feel like TikTok is a little more fun, and you can be more funny on there. It's a little more the art memes that I've done, like the shitpost art memes, family, they've done way better. I got like 5K views on my first TikTok, and I got like 600 likes. I don't know if that's good or not, but considering I didn't cross-post it, I think that's pretty freaking good. I would like to hear everybody's suggestions for the future videos and the trajectory of this channel, and I definitely want to purchase some actual editing software like I was talking about earlier to keep these interesting, and see where I can go with that. Although there's something to be said for these unedited video diaries. They obviously have been working better than I thought they would be. My other streams of income, including Shopify and Buy Me a Coffee and Super Chats, are also doing better than expected. And I am trying to learn more about e-commerce and print on demand as I go. If you're still watching at this point, my name is Shelby. I normally introduce myself a little bit earlier, but I forgot. I was getting a little bit too excited, and I basically exist and I make stuff. That's my whole thing. So essentially, I still haven't received a first offer for a sponsorship, but hey, if anybody wants to be my first sponsor, we can chat. I have my email in the sponsor thing through YouTube. So if you're watching this and trying to like suss out what my channel is, I'm down to work with whoever. So in the meantime, check out my Shopify with all my prints. Not just art prints that you put on your wall, but I have turned my art into puzzles, journals, mouse pads, t-shirts, everything that you can want. Some of them are even under $10. Plus shipping, of course, because we gotta ship it. But yeah, I fulfill everything through Printify at this point. So I'm actually not printing them in-house. I'm using a print on demand service. So I'm trying to figure out ways to include my art in my long form content besides just using it as my aesthetic backdrop. So if you guys have any ideas, just let me know of what you want to see in terms of my art. The regular viewers and commenters on this channel have reminded me that I'm not alone and feeling alone in my struggles. And I have been inundated with comments, and I haven't been the best at keeping up with every single one. I'll be honest, at first I was commenting to everybody that was posting. Now I'm just like trying to keep up with like the first flush of comments at this point. And I could probably just go and do a whole day where I would comment on everybody's comments and still have more comments that were left over to comment on. But when you guys post like really long comments where I have to click the read more, I'm like, they put a lot of thought into that and I'm going to read it. So I do like to read those more thoughtful comments. So it's not for nothing, I promise. I'll try to at least like you, like your post or something. I have so many more stories that I want to tell and I can hardly wait to post them. So I've been adulting now for 14 years and 32 of those years have been my whole life. So I am 32. And I have a lot of stories to pull from, but for years I said that they were too boring, or it was too late for me to start, or maybe all along I was right on time. Inspirational content from this channel? No way! Unsubscribe! Just kidding. It's gonna get depressing again, guys. Don't worry about it. I'm about to start my period, so I'm gonna get ready and monetize my PMS like nobody else has ever done. So prepare yourself for that. It's my cycle tracker says I'm almost due in 2 days, so I'm gonna get real sad real soon. I'm at that peak where my mood is like, nah, we're good right now. We're good. We're Gucci right now. But it's about to crash, so buckle up. I'm gonna get real sad. Can't wait. Nah. Okay, but anyway, who knows how much this channel can grow over the next year, including evolve in terms of the content that I post. I don't want to just post the same type shit every single time. You don't want to rehash what worked out. I mean, you do want to rehash it, but at a certain point the algorithm changes. You have to change. And who knows, you know, all I can do is keep growing and evolving, and I encourage anybody who has been considering YouTube, especially if you're an artist or an entrepreneur or someone who can teach a skill and you have something to offer in terms of answering a question and helping people, then definitely do that. So if I really think that that's really for the older people. If you're 40 plus, you got to figure out how to make YouTube videos about what you know about how you've gotten your money this far. It's not too late. I'm 32. I'm still kind of young. I'm a young 32. I had that extended millennial adolescence, so I'm still a teenager basically. I'm a 14-year-old adult. And the path may look pretty different compared to mine, but take this as a sign to get the ball rolling. I literally just started posting videos with absolutely no idea if I would be able to remain consistent, but the immediate gratification that I got from YouTube has allowed me to do that, and I'm very fortunate that I've had this kind of attention, and I can't wait to see where my first 30 days of monetization will bring. So every view counts, and all that super chatting and, you know, doing the buy me a coffee thing that you guys like to do. A lot of you guys have helped with that. I can't believe it, actually. It still shocks me that you guys are willing to financially support my efforts. And there is more strategy to my videos than I really talk about. I'm still struggling with clarity in terms of content strategy, but I think I'm doing better than I thought I would be doing. I didn't think this ish would be anywhere close to where it is by now. I was like, my original goal was like, if I remain consistent and make 2 to 3 videos a week, then maybe after 6 months I'll have 500 people that watch it. And now there's over 7,000 people. Y'all. And you guys are really cool with engaging. You guys do so much engagement, it's actually insanity. This is going to be me I should have done this in the middle of the video like a real sponsor person, but if you want to support today's episode, check out my awesome Shopify where I put all my cool art, and my non-depressing art is on Shopify for sale. If you want to see more depressing art, I swear to God I'm going to start making some and making content about it. I swear. I have so many ideas for my depressing art. I've just been having analysis paralysis and I don't know where to start. I mean, I do know where to start. I just don't want to start, because here's the thing about making art. It hurts your brain. It's like not going to the gym. It's like, why would you... People are like, if I could draw like that, I'd do it all day. It's like, maybe the reason I can draw like that is because I do already do it a lot. But the fact that I don't really want to do it all day because it hurts my brain. That's like going to the gym all day. It hurts my brain. Art is like chess for your brain, but with paint instead of pieces on a board. And I'm not saying I'm the best. I don't even play chess, fam. But I mean, I play Pokemon, so it's basically chess. Haven't really gotten into the new metagame recently, but we'll talk about that later. Do you guys want to talk about Pokemon? I can draw some. Anyway. So I guess I'm going to just cut this video off. I don't even know what this video was. It's honestly trash, but I didn't really have as much planned for this. I just wanted to say that I've really improved in terms of my consistency and my art and everything else and all my goals just by holding myself accountable to the internet. Yeah, so honestly, I think YouTube for artists can work. You just have to make content that's not for other artists. Most artists make content for other artists, and that's actually, this is not my first YouTube channel. Some of you guys don't know that. This is actually my 4th YouTube channel. This is the first one where I've shown my face and spoken. Where did I think I was gonna go? I mean, I've shown my face and I've spoken in other videos. My first YouTube channel was actually a gaming channel that I made when I was 14. Back in 07, like first year it was around, and I started posting Pokemon content. And my second channel was another Pokemon channel. I was trying to post Pokemon tutorials, but I had no fucking clue what I was doing. I was getting swamped and eaten alive by the actual websites that were making legit tutorials and stuff, so nobody cared. I felt discouraged and I quit. Think about all the skills I could have had if I had learned editing back then. And then my third one was like a kind of a weird mishmash of like all the shit that I like. And then I would talk about it, but I wouldn't show my face. And anyway, the point is that strangely enough, this is not my first attempt at making long form content. It is the most successful, which is really weird. I never thought I would come back to YouTube again, but after all the learning that I've done about storytelling and how to basically make the most out of what you've already been through, because we all have a story. Sometimes what's mundane to you is very interesting and relatable to someone else. Some of you guys are from like strange places across the world, like Germany. I don't know how this video got to you from me into Brazil. I don't know. Are you from Brazil? Leave a like in the less than like 0.1% of you are Brazilian. Statistically, I can actually look at that and see. Anyway, you should start a channel. Yeah, it doesn't have to necessarily be like this. You can talk about anything. But if you're thinking about it, do your research for like a couple of months and then dive in. Don't get stuck in analysis paralysis forever like me. Maybe all that time I did researching was helpful, but I think I honestly just got lucky from the algorithm at the same time. I don't know if I'm not giving myself enough credit or what. Only time will tell in terms of the long-term success of this channel, but like I said, in under 2 months, my life has changed for the better. I credit you guys for watching, myself for my own efforts, because I've been putting in effort, you guys, in ways that I don't think a lot of you understand. And I've had nothing to show for it for the last 14 years of my life, since I really started trying to sell art. And this is only the beginning. I'm scratching the surface, and I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just winging it as I go, and I'm just wanting to celebrate this small success that I'm having right now because I don't want to take it for granted. It's something that I've been wanting for a very long time, and I've exceeded my own expectations by a long shot. I'm more surprised that I was able to remain consistent than I am about anything else. I think I learned a lot from my other channels that failed because I was making it too hard. I was putting too many barriers in between me and making the content. I would have to play a game and I would have to win and be good at the game, which was a separate skill. I would have to read a book and then write something about it and then make a parody about it. There was just too much that was into it for that to ever really be worth it, but I still learned a lot and I still had a great time. And before, guys, I was on YouTube back when Discord didn't exist and we had what was called Zat. Do you guys remember Zat? Does anybody remember Zat? Yeah, I got harassed on Zat constantly. It actually got to the point because as a gamer on the internet in the early 2000s, you got reamed, bro. They were mean to me. And that's why I quit my first channel. I actually ended up with 700 subscribers in 2007 on a Pokemon channel. The only one that had more, like, back then, Maryland, y'all know who Maryland frickin' is, if you know Pokemon. He had like 10k subs at the time. I had 700, just to like keep it like status. I was doing pretty good. But I quit because I got too good and the haters didn't like that I was a winner. And I didn't know that. I just thought I sucked. But now I'm back, and the haters don't affect me because I'm not a 14-year-old girl anymore. I'm a grown-ass adult. Yeah, I'm a 14-year-old adult. I'm 32. You can't tell me what to do. I'm here to frickin' play this game of life. I know it doesn't seem like there's a lot that goes into these videos, and probably there's not, and that's by design, but finding that design and simplifying it and making it simple stupid, like design is supposed to be simple to be effective, right? In order to produce consistent content, you have to figure out a production pipeline that you can maintain without burning out. If I was required, and I know this because I've failed 4 times at this already, or 3 times, if I had made another channel where I had to do all this secondary shit and have multiple skills, it wouldn't work. Part of the reason this channel is working is because I made it simple this time on purpose. And I did that in a way where there is planning, but not so much that I get overwhelmed by analysis paralysis. The research part of this is actually very fun. It involves reading things that I'm interested in, watching other people's stories to get ideas on how to tell my side of the story, looking into how to tell stories, you know, how to be a good public speaker, things that I can work on. And I don't get stuck in that. I usually spend like an entire day actually on that, and I write notes right here in my big fat journal that I keep looking at. I could probably get a teleprompter and look directly into the camera, but I like having I have this nice ass journal that I have where I put all these freaking stickers in it. And I'm like, I might as well use this thing because it was so nice. It was a Christmas present. So maybe I'll use a teleprompter eventually. It makes sense. I'm looking directly at my laptop. I mean, it would probably be better that way, but I like using this. I'm the traditional writer. I still write with my arm. I'm sure chat could write me a thing. I've actually tried to make a video by using ChatGPT. That fucking video that I posted, where I basically had ChatGPT help me write something, got like fucking no views. So that to me was like one of the most validating things. I actually deleted it because it was horrible. That was like the most validating thing to me because it's like every time that I was inauthentic, it didn't work. And I've experimented with a bunch of different things. The most successful art on my channel is the real shit. The rough stuff, like the rough sketches. You guys seem to like the rough sketches and the behind the scenes and the process of seeing the art, I guess you could say. So I'll keep that in mind. The biggest problem, however, is just recording it. Like, you guys really liked that wolf recording where I showed the process from the sketch to the halfway finished piece. That's in my shorts, by the way. I think that does better than just showing the finished piece in a slideshow, but the problem is I have to have like this camera hovering over me while I'm painting, and it's kind of a pain in the ass. But maybe I can figure out a way to streamline that process and paint things that are easy to paint while still kind of cool for YouTube, so that I'm not trying to learn a new skill painting while I'm recording at the same time, which is also a new skill. So there's a lot of things that I want to try. and I'm trying to get better at this. I'm going to do like a content calendar. But my ADHD ass, in all honesty, like, if I'm able to work for 2 hours at a stretch straight, we're doing pretty good. In order for that 2 hours to work, I have to plan it out right. I'm not saying it, well, there's a lot that goes into it. It's weird how it works. I have to take breaks. So if I worked for like an actual employer, they would not let me take an hour-long break every 2 hours. Let's put it like that. So every 2 hours, I take a long break. And it's like, oh my god, how many hours does it take to make one of these shit videos? It's like, the simplicity is part of the strategy. I learned earlier before that overcomplicating things and putting too many steps and barriers into making content isn't worth it. And not to say that, like, my first YouTube channel was a Pokemon channel. There was no such thing as monetization back then. I had no intention of making money from playing Pokemon. I just wanted to play Pokemon and meet other people that were playing it. I was like, if they can do it, I can do it. And I had a fun time doing that. And I learned a lot about internet culture and how mean boys are to girls on the internet. But I deleted my channel because I started getting sexually harassed. And I was 14 and I was really afraid. And okay, I didn't do a jump cut. I accidentally quit recording. So anyway, point about it is that I really appreciate you guys. Check out all my links: Instagram, where my art is; Shopify, where you can buy prints of it on any form; and buy me a coffee if you really want to go full on, all in patron of the arts. I feel like people get accused of scheming when they start making money off their crash out videos. I'm not scheming. I'm actually real. Every time that I posted content that was not authentic, either it was heavily pulled by someone else, or I even used ChatGPT to make the outline, it went absolutely nowhere. It was complete trash, and I couldn't believe that. So I'm admitting that a couple of my videos I wrote, well, I didn't write it, but I used AI to make the outline, and those were trash. I deleted them. They're fucking horrible. I'm embarrassed by that. So I take that away and get rid of it. And I think that the antidote to AI at this point is to show the process and to be a person on the internet. Process and personhood are the antidote to AI at this point. You can't outcreate a machine that has consumed the information of over at least 10 million years of artistic knowledge. It's impossible. Where it's going to go is so impossibly beyond human potential, it's actually sad. So I think people are going to be craving a connection with the artist. And I'm not trying to monetize like a fucking connection necessarily. Like, that's a little bit weird. But at the end of the day, it's the most validating thing ever that real recognizes real. Like, other people recognize when someone is being real versus fake. You can't trick someone into believing that, a decently written story is your story if it's not. I don't really know what else to say. I literally write all of my fucking shit now, and I try to make sure it's mostly from my own mind, which can be a little bit repetitive, but the ones where I'm just off riff, just fucking going and crying and being my real ass self in a hot fucking mess, like on my period, like being just gross, are the best ones. People like realness. And being real is scary. And for a long time I was afraid to be real because I thought that the messiness was a turnoff, but in this day and age with AI, it's the new thing. Authenticity isn't a trend, it's an antidote. It is the medicine. I don't think that I'm capitalizing on a trend so much as recognizing a need that people have to connect and get to know someone who's actually real. It wouldn't work if I was lying about who I was. You would see right through it. Everything that I've told you guys about my situation has been true. Maybe it's been exaggerated because I was in the mind of a child, or I misremembered something, but I've even told you guys that I'm not perfect, that I've been very toxic in my past, and we can get into that, but I was a danger to myself and others, and I lost my pew-pew rights. Not that I was ever going to use a pew-pew, but I cannot own a pew-pew at this point because I at one point threatened someone. I'm not a perfect human. I got so angry at one point, like I was literally taken away on a gurney, strapped down, put into a cell, and they just let me stay there until I calmed down, and they decided to send me to psych instead of jail because I come from a nice neighborhood, and that was a privilege to do that to me. And that was the realest moment of my entire life in a lot of ways, but we can talk about that later. It's, to be honest with you, so traumatic that I don't remember the details. But it was the beginning of me being honest with myself, because I didn't want to become a person that was continuing the cycle. But yeah, we'll get into that. We're talking about YouTube, but you guys know that I'll talk about that later. I really want to do some Pokemon art. I'm considering Pokemon art. You guys have seen those videos on TikTok where they take a Pokemon card and then the artist paints the rest of the card. I was thinking about doing that. I've never done that, so I'm sure the first time I do it, it's going to be absolute trash. And it might be a learning curve where I'm going to have to really struggle with it for a while, but it might be fun to do that. I got lots of Pokemon cards I could use for that. Nothing. I'm not going to bring in my Charizard or anything like that, but it might be cool. This video went on longer than I thought it would. So if you're still watching, you probably are pretty awesome. I like to make these videos decently long so that you guys can kind of do other things while you listen. Because if you're anything like me, you keep this in the corner, you go right to the comments, and you start scrolling something else. I'm so guilty of that. I watch talking head videos while I draw. I'll go on this side of the internet, like the misanthrope, pessimist, depression side of the internet, and I'll just put it on autoplay. Have Truth Tiger in the background. My man, he was my first guy that I saw making this type of thing, and I'm like, wow, love that. Support small creators, we got to. So anyway, if you like this video and don't like life, you're in the right place. I exist, I make stuff, I paint, and I do stuff. And I admitted to you guys that I didn't trust myself when it came to writing some of my videos. And nobody liked it. And I can always tell. There's a couple of my videos that didn't do as well, mostly because I talk about things that make it difficult for the algorithm to distribute it due to censorship. But mostly, especially my newer ones, have been doing pretty well. Comparatively. I'm slowly growing, but of course, anything can happen. So let's just keep the ball rolling. I don't want this to be if I get to a point in my life where I'm genuinely no longer dealing with depression as a reality, I hope that we can evolve and grow together. But at this point, the production pipeline is stacked full of similar videos to what you've been used to on this channel. I don't want to feel like I have to be that person all the time, but at this point it is genuine. I have a lot to say. And I'm hoping that there can be a positive end to this, but it's not going to happen overnight. It's going to be a long journey, but like I said, this has been changing my life more quickly than I originally thought it was going to. So let's keep it on. Let's work it out. Let's keep going. And I love you guys so much. Thank you always for checking it out, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.